We've been a leader in banking for more than 100 years. You'll find us here, at home, on your phone, and everywhere you go. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Sponsored by Renaissance Bank.
Good morning and welcome to Daily Journal Newsbreak for Thursday, April 12th. I'm your host, Chris Kiefer, and we're going to take a look at the top news and sports stories from Northeast Mississippi. But first, let's start with your weather forecast. Today we're looking at partly cloudy skies with a high of 78 and a low of 55. There's a 10% chance of rain. Looking ahead at your 3-day outlook, Friday, partly cloudy with a high of 78 and a low of 64. Saturday, thunderstorms, that's a 100% chance of rain with a high of 69 and a low down to 42. And on Sunday, cloudy with a high of 51 and a low of 37. Let's take a look now at today's top headlines. The Area 11 Special Olympics brought together nearly 600 athletes from 34 schools to compete in various track and field events and other contests at Tupelo High School on Wednesday. Lee County Special Education Director Kathy Dickerson said that for participating athletes, the event is like the Super Bowl. She also said that participants are supported by the entire school district. Renee Gazaway, the co-director for the Area 11 branch of Special Olympics in Mississippi, estimates that participation increased this year by more than 100 athletes from last year. Athletes represented 8 different counties, and some will advance to the statewide games in Biloxi next month. But Shannon High School junior Jeffrey Reynolds said he just wanted to meet people and have fun. A second round of nightly flushings has Saltillo officials hopeful that they have seen the last of dirty and smelly water that has plagued part of the town for several months. In early March, Saltillo Public Works employees spent 3 straight nights flushing lines on the west side of town. That's where residents started noticing dirty, cloudy, and sometimes smelly water shortly after that side of town switched to well water in September 2017. This week, employees are conducting additional hard flushes across the entire water system. On Sunday and Monday nights, workers began flushing the east side of town, starting at the wells and working their way out to the end of the lines. The efforts removed a lot of sediment from the lines. For the final 3 nights, workers returned to the west side of town. Workers said part of the problem involved the difference in chemicals used to treat well water and surface water. The mixing of the waters could mean some elements like iron and manganese are not fully treated, leading to smells. Saltillo Mayor Rex Smith said the initial flushing a month ago significantly improved water on the west side of town. He said they've noticed over the years that routine flushings have improved the water quality. A proposed expansion of Tupelo's Police Advisory Board will likely advance before the City Council next week, along with the names of 2 new nominees to the board. In response to community concerns about its racial composition, members of the advisory board requested last month for 2 additional seats to be added. Tupelo Chief Operations Officer Don Lewis told the advisory board during its Wednesday meeting that additional nominees have been vetted. One of the nominees expected to go before the council is Bridget Wilson, a corporate risk manager for North Mississippi Health Services. A second name has been selected, but Lewis said a recent question about residency has arisen and is under investigation. The ordinance that created the advisory board will require modification to expand the board from 9 to 11 members. Lewis said the administration will ask the City Council next week to amend the ordinance and approve the new nominees. And in sports, Ryan Summers has found just the right fit for his first head coaching job. Summers, who has been a coach for 22 years, is taking over Saltillo's football program after Pat Bird's departure. The hire was approved by the Lee County School Board on Tuesday. Summers served as defensive coordinator under Bird for the past 2 years. Bird recently left to take the head post at Winston Academy. The Tigers were 33-62 in 8 years under Bird, including 3-9 last season. The 45-year-old Summers has also coached at Amory, Pontotoc, and Corinth. He spent 14 years at Corinth under Jimmy Mitchell. Summers will continue to run the defense with help from Ryan Finch. The offense will be led by quarterback Drew Medlock, who took over early last season when senior Titus Hurd broke his leg. Summers will relinquish his duties as the boys and girls track coach, and he will serve as athletics director. Saltillo opens spring drills on April 23rd. It will host Choctaw County and Senatobia in a spring jamboree on May 10th. And that does it for Newsbreak on this Thursday. Don't forget that this show is just one of the many online offerings courtesy of the Daily Journal. that gets you news off the page and on the go. The Memo podcast takes a deep dive into a single topic each week to give you a greater understanding of Northeast Mississippi. This week's show looks at Mississippi's struggles to find more money for road and bridge repairs. Listen at Apple Podcasts and Google Play or online at memo.djournal.com. And check out the Prep Rally podcast with hosts Brad Locke and Dalton Middleton talking about the latest in Northeast Mississippi high school sports. This week, they look at the Daily Journal All-Area basketball team and recap wins by Saltillo baseball and Boonville softball. Listen at Apple Podcasts or Google Play or online at preprally.djournal.com. Any story discussed today on Newsbreak can be found in your Daily Journal or online at djournal.com, where you can also find a new episode of Newsbreak each weekday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Kiefer. Have a great Thursday.